Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us today for our final GSOC Demo Day. Like our Google Summer of Code interns have just wrapped up their summer-long projects, and some of them are coming back to do a second showcase of their work, and others are going to be showcasing their work for the first time. So we're looking forward to sharing the great fruit of their efforts in today's meeting. Just in terms of our agenda here, we'll start with the brief round of introductions, which we went through. We have a couple announcements and housekeeping for the community, and then we'll move into the showcase. Just in terms of announcements, we do have a developer training that's still coming up. So if you are interested in potentially joining this online 4-day session with 8 hours in total, send a message to myself or Alex, and we'll help you get registered. We're still just finalizing the dates, but it should be coming up within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And if you haven't subscribed to our Apache community mailing list, the emails to subscribe are here. And this is where we want all of our community discussions to be happening. So please try to join both the developer and user mailing list if you're not a member yet, so you can participate in the ongoing discussion, and we can begin to grow activity amongst our community within Apache Fineract. Once again, we want to call out, just letting folks know that if they'd like to get featured in our blog, we're now regularly doing a series of posts to call out different community members. We have our featured spotlight for partners. We do our star contributor for volunteers. We have our user in focus case study, and we also have a powered by Mifos case study. So if you'd like to be a part of our blog in any way through these series of posts, let Alex or myself know, and we'd love to feature you. We are still going to be doing some regional conferences before the end of the year, both one in East Africa and South Asia, most likely. So if you're interested in potentially helping to lead a session or guide some of the content, be in touch with us once again. And then lastly, just in terms of what new software you can expect, the next Mifos X release is going to focus on trying to ship a number of the features that are being showcased today. So making sure we can get the great work that our Google Summer of Code interns worked on, shipped out to the community, and valued and used by you. And then in terms of Apache Fineract CN, or Generation 3 of Mifos, we're looking at the first stable release of a product on top of the framework in Q4. But there is active discussion now happening on the Apache list, and we have more documentation on what's currently in the new framework on the wiki. So please take a look at that link. And then just wanted to once again, let people know that we're using Mobilize to power Mifos jobs board. So if there are any custom development needs you have, if you're going to be hiring or looking for an IT manager or have an implementation support that you need, you can post it here. And this is where other partners and community members will be able to respond. And now, we'll move on to the main focus of today's meeting, our showcase. So once again, just want to give a shout out and congratulations to all of our interns as they now have wrapped up Google Summer of Code, and we'll move into what we're going to focus on today. So in terms of today's demos, first up we're going to have Sanyam, and he's going to demo out how he spent a significant amount of work making sure all of our APIs are now documented in the Swagger format, which is much more widely accepted and familiar to developers, and will help us ease the burden of maintaining API documentation going forward in the future. So let me pass the controls over to Sanyam, and he'll showcase his work. So Sanyam, I made you presenter, and you should hopefully be able to share your screen.
Yeah. Hey everyone, is my screen visible?
Not quite yet, but now it is. Okay, go right ahead, Sanyam. And yeah, we have a busy agenda, so I'll let you, get through the meat of your presentation, but we'll try and do it swiftly. So good luck on your demo.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Yeah, hey everyone, this is Sanyam, a full stack developer and an undergraduate student from New Delhi, India. So in my GSOC project, I have integrated Swagger on the Apache React project. So if we see the previous documentation, that is the API Lab HTML API that is this documentation, the developers need to put an extra effort to write their document to document their code in the API live.html, and therefore it is out of sync with the latest code base. So by using the Swagger documentation, it reduces a lot of effort by a developer to document their code and will also help the front-end developers and other developers to consume the Finract API with the interactive Swagger UI. So I have integrated Swagger documentation on almost all the APIs of the Finract except for the portfolio's APIs. So in this documentation, a developer is it's very easy for a developer to document through the Swagger. You just need to add some annotations like this at API and at API operations, at API responses, and other also APIs and other annotations to document their code. So after putting all the annotations in their code, so the developer is done with the documentation and it's all automated. So after the automated documentation, it looks like this. So let's start with the like staff API, and this is are the main title of the documentation. This is the versioning of the documentation, and this is the brief introduction about how our documentation works. So let's get started with the staff API. In the staff API, it will look like there are four endpoints. That is the one to get the endpoints, and one post, and one fetch endpoint. So if you see for the get endpoint of the staff API, there is a brief introduction of how the get API of the staff API will work. So in which we can these are the parameters like for the SQL search. This is a query parameter. These all are the query parameters. And after getting the like getting the it hit the API through a postman or other any consume API services, we get data and response of like this. And we can also check it out like for the post API. The post API this is like and in this post endpoint we will require a body. So we will require a body parameter. So this is the defined body parameter a developer should put in while requesting for the post endpoint of the staff API. So this is how the whole documentation works. Like if we also go for run accruals for the periodic accrual accounting API, there is only a post endpoint. So the required body parameters is like this, and the required body should be like this. For our developers, if he uses our API, then he can easily understand now what's the body parameter and how the response will look like. Thank you.
Okay, Sanyam, was that all you had in your demo?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Well, I know this was a pretty complex project, and you had to explore, many different approaches to make sure you could get our APIs properly documented in the Swagger format. So great work on plugging through and getting so far along in your project. And for other community members that want to help, there's a few APIs that still need to be documented, and Sanyam has, clear steps on what others can do to assist. So if you'd like to help in working on those portfolio APIs, please let us know or reach out via the mailing list. But great work, Sanyam, and looking forward to having this available to all the developers across our community. So I'll take over presentation mode once again. Okay, so next up we're going to have Naman showcase a couple of the apps he was able to work on during Summer of Code. So Naman previously showcased the efforts he gave for the PixiePay So Naman is focused on building out more of a mobile wallet framework powered by Apache Fineract, and he had two different use cases he were implementing. So you saw the previous work he had done on PixiePay, which is targeted towards merchants in India, and he's going to show his final work on that project, and then he's also going to demonstrate the use cases he supported on the consumer mobile wallet side. So I'll make you the presenter, Naman, and let you showcase your work.
Yeah, thank you. Is my screen visible?
Now it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I'll get started. Here's the project, my project for this GSOC. What I basically started it was to explore the possibilities that we can create some unique use cases with our code Finite backend. So my project initially was to create a core wallet framework. So I'll be demonstrating two separate apps today. One is a consumer mobile wallet, and another one is a wallet framework that is targeted for merchants. So both of them uses a core module, so a core library which we have based on top of it. So I will get started with the consumer wallet framework first. So in this consumer wallet, each user is a self-service user. So we are using the self-service APIs from the Finec backend. Each user will be created as a self-service user. So this user is already created in the backend. I will log into this. So the this consumer mobile wallet app is a reference implementation of all the use cases that we have in the core library module. So this includes we can self-issue a new mobile wallet and basically all the basic functions of a wallet. So these include we also have a concept of a virtual payment address that basically was first introduced in India itself. So VPA is like an email address, or you can think of it as a phone number. So basically identified to uniquely a unique string uniquely identify a particular client or user. So this is our wallet and the balance is 453. We can use the previous transaction from this wallet. Yeah, so we can obviously add money to the wallet. We can withdraw money from the wallet, all the features of a consumer wallet, and we can make transfers between two different wallets of two different users. So this is from the previous transaction. And now moving on to the profile. So this is our VPA defined. So in terms of the Finec backend, this is the external ID of the client associated with the user. So my VPA for now is number.vd@Mifos. So this is our first user, and I will log in with the second user in my second phone. Yes, so now we can transfer the money using two different methods. So we have the VPA, or we can generate codes and scan the code. So I will just enter an amount of, let's say, 50. We can enter the virtual payment address. So the virtual payment address of the second user is naman.vg2@. I will enter this. So basically with the virtual payment address provided, it will first verify which client is the money actually being sent to. So it will identify that the money it will find the client associated with that particular VPA. So the money is to be sent to Naman2 with this VPA, and the amount is to be the amount transferred with this, so we can confirm the payment. And this is all self-service API. So obviously there are 4 APIs there, adding third-party beneficiary and managing the transfer limits for that, and then finally processing the transaction. My internet seems to be a little bit slow right now. Basically, transfer, so the fund will be transferred to the second account, and this is the using the VPA provided, or else we can also use the QR code feature also in this app. So the second phone can generate a unique QR code, and I can directly enter the amount for this and 50, and I can scan the code from my second phone. It will again verify where the money is being sent, where the money is being transferred to. So this time to the first user, which is one of the generated first. Yes, the transaction is successful, and the wallet balance will be, yeah, it's been updated, and there will be a new credit of 50 rupees on 7 September. So this is the consumer mobile wallet featuring all the use cases, all the basic use cases that are available there. So sending money, requesting money, managing payments, managing wallets, and adding, updating, or editing your VPA, and then transferring using QR codes, and managing your profile. So this is the first implementation. Now, this app and the second app that I'll be showing, both are based on top of a unique, both are based on top of a same core wallet framework. Basically, that wallet framework has all these basic use cases. Now, this is a very basic implementation of a consumer wallet. Now, as you can see that it doesn't actually have any payment settlement capabilities. So, like, I cannot use this wallet to pay at my local grocery store or anything that accepts payments like that. So, to have actual payment capabilities, we need to build apps that are country specific. Because each country have different payment settlements uh, uh, relating to their central banks. So in case of India, I've created a separate app basically with which I started this project. This is Pixie Collect, Pixie Pay. So this is targeted for merchants. So now we have currently we are partnered with RPL Bank for this, and they have provided us the payment APIs that are the UPI, Aadhaar Pay, and managing actual payment settlements with the RBI Bank. So here, so what this app is. This app is based on top of the core wallet framework, and then it adds another backend that is our separate backend that actually interacts with the RPL bank. So here, so this app is targeted for merchants. So for merchants can collect payments. So basically, a merchant can create an invoice. So I as a customer go to a shop, I purchase something of rupees 100, something like that. Then the merchant can create that invoice. And merchant can ask me how I want to pay, or I can ask the merchant how you want to get paid, and both can mutually agree on a single mode of payment, and then we can use that payment method to carry out the actual payment transaction. So here actually this app is totally specific to India. So we'll be verifying the mobile number first. I'll just go through the sign up process once for the merchant. So it also includes all the eKYC that needs to be there, because UPI has a limit of 20,000 if there's no eKYC present. So if there's any eKYC, then the limit extends to 1 lakh. So yeah, we are taking the PIN and Aadhaar number of the user. And again, these all these APIs are from RPL Bank itself. So I'll just move forward with it. So this is we can fetch out the actual accounts, the actual bank account that are associated with the bank. So just select RBI Bank and it will fetch my account. So this is my one of the accounts, and I can create a unique PIN for this account. And if I already have, then I can simply step then I will just create a new PIN for this. Yes, so now our payment setup, basically our sign up is mostly complete. I can configure payment type. So these are the payment modes that we have initially supported. So we have Aadhaar Pay, UPI, credit, debit card, QR code, and separate payment gateways for this. So I've separated all of them for now. Then I can start accepting payments. So this is the invoice creation screen for the merchant. Here you can enter the total amount for the invoice. Let's say the total invoice is let's say 25. And this is a UPI. So we have UPI implemented, and UPI is specific to India. It's called Universal Payment Interface, and basically it's also the basic Building block of this payment system is also the virtual payment address. I will enter the VPA for my customer's phone. So this will be the customer's VPA. So now the merchant is requesting 25. He will basically create an invoice of rupees 25, and he asks the customer his VPA and he requests this money. So a new invoice will be created. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're still audible, Naman.
Maintenance. So on the second phone, you can see there's a new invoice is stated, and I got a new on the customer's phone. We got a new notification that Mandati has requested 25 for this invoice ID. I can pay it using UPI. So 25, and I can enter my again the same pin that I generated earlier. So the payment is completed, and the merchant's phone will also show that the invoice has been paid. So the payment mode is UPI. So this is the first payment mode that we have. So as I said that there are multiple payment modes, and the customer and merchant can mutually agree on one sort of payment. So and the other page, this is also India specific, again using APIs that we can only get by partnering with an actual bank. So this is also we can basically enter the Aadhaar number of a customer. Aadhaar Pay is based on biometric authentication. So there have to be a external biometric like say hardware for that. So customers fingerprint will be scanned, and basically each bank account is connected to the Aadhaar number. It is supposed to be connected with an Aadhaar number, and it will when I authorize the transaction from it, the transaction will actually take place from the bank account that is associated with this particular Aadhaar number. So we don't have actual hardware support for now. So just a demo like how the payment is actually processed. This is our second use case, and then we have creditable card. This also requires hardware integration. So we like the external jack complement all those POS machines will be integrated in. And again, we have a QR code and payment gateways. So these both work on the same principle of generating a unique payment link. That payment link can be, and then that payment link we can the customer can open in a browser or anywhere else, and he can proceed to a payment gateway from there. So it's generate a new QR with this payment link. Then again, you can scan it from the customer's phone. It's a unique payment link related to the invoice ID and the client ID for which the amount is to be paid. So we will integrate the different payment gateways here. So again, this will be specific to each country. For India, we can target Paytm, we can target MobiKwik, or we can all the payment gateways like Razor Pay and everything. We can directly integrate somewhere. Again, all these invoices will be shown in the recent invoices also. Like what's the state of each invoice? Is it pending or what? And so from the customer's phone, I can pay the invoice, and the payment will be successful, and it will be again reflected in the customer in the merchant's phone also. So this is the and again we can have the wallet and the QR code from our original consumer mobile wallet also. So these are the debit card QR code, and again payment gateway is also the same thing. So a unique payment link, the same payment link will be sent to the customer's phone number. So I got a message, so to be same, the pay rupees because the invoices of 0 to 1 that they're using this uniquely. So they said that at its core is we have the same FinTech backend and our core wallet library, but on top of it, we can actually create a variety of apps and catering to different countries so that they have actual payment settlement capabilities. So this one is specific to India, and I will continue to work on this with the more APIs. As you get more APIs from RBL Bank, I will hopefully be able to create a product that can be released to the actual merchants. So yeah, so these are my demos for this.
Okay, thank you so much, Naman. It's really impressive that you were able to, not only build out the mobile wallet framework, but these two apps on top of it throughout the summer. So job well done, and we're looking forward to having you continue work on this in the community for many years to come. And then one question I had, just when you had the customer pay the first invoice, through their VPA, like does the customer also download the Pixie Pay app too, or what app were they paying?
So there are two different cases. So if you talk about the consumer mobile wallet, in that case, the customer will have to have the Mifos Pay app also. So I'm
Yeah.
naming it the Mifos Pay app, the
Hmm.
consumer mobile wallet. But in case of the UPI, the Pixie Pay thing, so UPI actually doesn't care like what app it has. UPI is a central interface, and any app that has the UPI integrated, they will receive notification. So it's independent of apps. So if I have two different apps that uses UPI, you can request payment from one, and the other will also get the notification.
Okay. And then,
It's independent of which app I use for the UPI actual integration.
mhm. Okay. Okay, thanks. Thanks for clarifying that. Okay. Next up, we're gonna have Dilpreet showcase his remaining work on our mobile banking app. So we were previously calling this our Android self-service app, but a mobile banking app is a better and more illustrative name for it. So that's what we're going to call it going forward. So Dilpreet, I'll make you the presenter, and looking forward to seeing the additional work you added in.
Yeah, so is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible now, Dilpreet.
Yeah, for the Android mobile banking app, it's generally for the clients, the customers who want to manage their own accounts and also like the savings accounts. If they want to make some transfers or add any third-party beneficiaries or make any third-party transfers. So after I've shown my first demo, after the demo, I've added some change. I've made some changes up to the UI and added some functionality. The In the account section, as we all know that there's a filter option. So after filtering, I've uh, updated the UI for the accounts, the savings account detail, and for the loan account details. So it's a better UI and UX implementation. The user will be able to like easily go through their details, and the QR code part has been shifted in the bottom, and we now have an option to share this QR code. So we can share this QR code with anyone who wants, like if you want to allow someone to add a beneficiary for your account, so you can just share this QR code and they will be easily able to add your beneficiary without even sharing all the details. So this QR code will be having all the details within it. And for the loans part, we have added a option to like if you directly want to create a loan, you can just go through there and add a loan from there. And same goes with the loan UI detail part. If we go to the loan UI part, we can have a list of options which we can go through for any particular loan account. So we can just view some charges or view its repayment schedule and all. And even if a user feels stuck somewhere, we have also added a help option so that the user is able to like go through the general questions and all. So in the help section also, we have also added a search option, so user can search according to the question. So he will be easily able to search them and go through the questions. And right now these questions are static, but after having a API, these questions will be dynamic and will be a variety of questions, so that if a user feels stuck, he will be easily able to go through them and will be able to solve his or her problem. Yeah. And for the savings, for the transfers part, there are already the two types of transfers. If a person wants to make a transfer either within the account, so he can just go through all the accounts he want to pay and choose a pay from account. Just enter in the amount he wants to transfer, and after reviewing, we can just click on the transfer option, and he'll be easily able to. So all the things which have been made easily accessible to the user, so that he can easily perform all the things he want to do. And yeah, we can add a beneficiary directly from going through here. And for adding a beneficiary, we've added two options: just manual, where we have to like enter the beneficiary, or we can scan the QR code. So if a person like shares the QR code with you, you can easily scan the QR code, and you'll be able to like add a beneficiary easily. And apart from this, we have also added an option for creating a account. So for creating an account, we need a bunch of options we need to fill. The person should already have an account associated with the Mifos. So if he has account, and he can just fill all the details, and after filling the details, he'll be easily able to like register for the self service, the now known as the Android mobile banking app. And yeah, and just a second. And there's already a passcode feature, so the user can easily like, he don't have to like enter the passcode again and again, so that he can just exit the app, and for after if he wants to enter the app again, he just have to enter the passcode. And rest all the features I've demoed in the previous video. So that's it from my side.
Okay, thanks, Dilpreet.
Hello.
No, this is wonderful work that you've put into the mobile banking app, and this will really be a great product for the community to have out there. So we're looking forward to getting it shipped, and it's really professional looking and has a great amount of functionality. And looking forward to adding in additional, support for external transfers, and hopefully having the notifications in there soon as well.
Yeah, notifications part is already on. I'm already working on it, so it will be finished by this week only.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass the controls over to Tarun now, who's going to showcase some of the remaining use cases that he has implemented in our Android Field Officer app. And Tarun, you can also, showcase some of the work you did before in the mobile app for those that weren't on that first meeting as well. So, don't hesitate to do that.
Sure. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you, Tarun. Just waiting on your screen, but should be up in a moment.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm Tarun Mudgal, and I've been associated with Mifos for almost a year now, or maybe more. And in the past 3 months, I have been working as a dual SIM of code intern on the Android's Field Officer app. Is my screen visible now?
Yep, we can see it, Tarun.
All right. So we'll just quickly glance through the features that I had implemented earlier and have showcased them in the previous call. So first was this signature feature. So what was there was a requirement that uh, the field officer, he might have to scan the signatures and then upload the photograph. So a better use case would have been to make the signature right there on the phone screen, and then just upload the signature right there. So I had implemented this view, so we can just upload the signatures, and the signature they can also be uploaded from the gallery. For example, we can save the signatures for offline use, and after that we can just upload the signature whenever we have internet connection. So there is an option to upload from gallery as well. After that, the one of the major functionalities that I had implemented was the collection sheet features. So there are three kinds of collection sheets. First is the individual collection sheet, and I have actually a use case for this, so that is why. Mm, Field officer CSACO. So we have this collection sheet and the name, the account number, and the product code, the total due and charges if they are, and we can also have some additional information there, payment type, account number, and so on and so forth. So this is just some issue with the backend, as in the date that was like it is related to the date when it can be dispersed and when it cannot. So it is not related to the implementation in the application in this app. Similarly, we have two more kind of collection sheets. First is the collection sheet for the productive collection sheet, which is for centers, and for this again we had a use case. It was 20th August, I guess. We have very basic UI in this because all these fields have are being generated dynamically. So we can of course make the UI better later. And this is at the moment very much similar to what is being implemented right there in the web app. So at least the user will have like knowledge. He'll be familiar to the UI that he's been using on the web app. Now you can just submit it. Similarly, there is a collection sheet for group, and again some of the part is similar to the productive collection sheets, but it also has some other columns like savings and some additional informations. We can again just have them uploaded there. There might be some issue with the backend this, and after that I was at that moment in the previous showcase, I had started working on the run reports, and initially we have implemented the run reports for the client. uh, in the in future we can also add the report features for all these entities. Now I'll take an example of client listing. So we have this offices list. We can select anyone from these and just choose the head office. All right, so we get a lot of data here. So it's a very big table of all the information. No, we had this export CSV feature in the web app, but it was actually not implemented in this particular app because it was being done on the front end. It was the JavaScript that was working all like doing all the thing, but it might be implemented later on depending on whether it is being required that much or not. All right, and after that we actually profiled the number of requests. What was happening earlier that was that whenever we were adding or deleting any element, any entity, for example any document or identifier, then uh, some redundant requests were being made to the server to just refresh the data that is being presented on the screen. For example, I'll start with identifiers, some client, and let's say some identifiers associated with them. So I'll also have this. If we add some new identifier, Now only one request is being made for the creation. This request was for the template, and then if we have let's just add another. So we have three identifiers now, and if we just remove one, we are again making only a single call. Earlier we were making two calls. So similarly, we are now saving more than 50% of the internet usage in all the screens in which this kind of implementation is being feature has been provided. And I had also done similar thing in documents screen. Let's just remove this. In the emulator only these images are available for me. So alright, so again we have just a single request, and similarly if we just remove any document, so it is even better now in the terms of UI, and again we can also update the document. And so everything is taking just a single request now. Similarly, it was the charges screen. So it is using pagination feature. So in case we have a number of charges, then only a specified number of charges are being downloaded, retrieved from the server. And if we scroll down, then only we can will fetch the remaining charges. So again, in this, if we just add we are making a single code, and we are just updating the UI only on the basis of whether the request is successful or not. And these were the main features that I worked on. After that, I've been working, and the work that is being in progress at the moment is the implementation of the JLG loan application feature. So if we just go to any group, we have this screen, and since it is at the moment not finished completely, so this is like a similar UI that is being implemented there in the web app, but it still lack a few things there, and in the days to come it can be finished. So now this is all from my side. Since this is not fully functional, so I cannot show more than this.
Okay, thanks, Tarun. No, we're looking forward to seeing the final implementation of the bulk JSG loan application, and it's great that you were able to make the support for the collection sheet in the Android app, as that's been a long-awaited feature, and I'm glad you also had some time to do those back-end performance improvements. So thanks for your great work.
Thank you everyone.
And then Ronak, I'll pass it over to you for you to do, if you're still, well, Ronak might not be on right now, so you all have the demo link to our web online banking app, so our web self-service app that Ronak previous shared, so you can do another showcase of that later in the future, but we'll resend the link out so you can test that out on your own. But next I'm going to pass it over to Vladimir, who's going to demo the work he's done on providing a generic mobile money gateway to connect with mobile money APIs from around the world. So. I've made you presenter, Vladimir, so you should be able to share your screen momentarily. Yeah, so we can hear you now. You're audible, Vladimir.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not quite yet, but we'll give it a moment to load. So.
Okay.
It's still just waiting. So.
Now can you see it?
Now we can. Go ahead, Vladimir.
Okay, good. So I was working on the payment gateway, and the idea behind it was the payment gateway is supposed to be able to like get disbursement, fund disbursement from like Finerac and send it to a mobile money provider, so that the funds can be directed to like a customer. So I'm going to show two use cases. One will be the case where you have an incoming request which is coming from like a customer. Then another one where you have money which is leaving like the Finerac back end to like the mobile money this thing provider. So I will start by showing the case where you have the customer who is trying to like who is trying to make a payment. The idea behind it was that the customer is supposed to be able to, if he's making a payment, then he should be able to like query his account. He should be able to query his account information using the payment gateway. So we have services for like for querying like the loan account. For example, let me say a customer wants to make a loan repayment and he wants to get like his loan account. So there's this endpoint. There's this endpoint that um, the payment gateway has that the customer can use to like query Finerac backend to get this thing. So let's try it out. So this is the gateway. The request is a post request. Then all the customer will need to send is the account number. So let's send it and see. My laptop is a little bit slow, so you have to bear with me. Yeah. Okay. Finally, the laptop is really slow because I'm running like two instances of LEJ at the same time. So, and I'm running another server at the back, so it will be a little bit slow. But this is the loan account that the customer requested that has come from Finerac. The customer can also request, for example, he can also request a saving account, and it's the same thing. He sends in an account number, then the payment gateway will get it for him. and render it. And okay, this has come. So this is the savings account. As you can see the account number, you can see the saving product name. Then you also have the recurring deposit account. So the way the payment gateway was made is the way I developed it was such that a customer can be able to like make a recurrent deposit. So let me say he wanted to like get his recurring deposit account. He will send the account number. Then um, let's send it and see whether we can get a response from Iraq. Yes. So this is the recurrent deposit account that he gets. So the idea behind this interface is that the customer gets the account and he gets the account information and makes the payment. Now let's now go back. Let's go to the case to the part where he makes a payment. Okay. Let's say a customer is trying to make a repayment, for example, and if you can see the request, you can see that you have like the payment method is mobile money. The payment method type, in this case, the payment method type is like the mobile money operator. In this case, is Bionic, and the source reference is the client's phone number. Then the destination's reference is the MFI's phone number. Then you have like the FINERAC account number for this part. In this case, since we are doing a loan repayment, the account number will be for the particular loan account that the customer is trying to repay for. So when we send out this request, so the gateway says, he sends a code to say, this is the code, I have received your request. Then if we go actually and look at the database, if we look at the inbound request in the database, give me a minute. Anyway, let me try, because the database, the workbench application is really slow. Let me try to see whether I can do, instead of doing a loan repayment, let me see whether I can do a voluntary saving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, though, Vladimir, this would be the example where a user was, either from their mobile phone, they're sending a mobile payment, either for a loan repayment or deposit, and then this gateway
Yes.
is, capturing that payment
Yes.
and reflecting it in the
Yes.
Fineract backend. So,
Yes. Yes.
and this initial use case is, using the Bionic API, but theoretically,
Yeah.
the gateway's been designed so you can swap out the mobile money API for the country you're working in.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so in this case, I'm sending a recurrent deposit. Let's see where, yes, it's been received by the gateway. Let me see where the database. Okay, even if the database doesn't load, at least let me show the most important part. This is Bionic's integration. And the idea is once you make a repayment and the repayment goes to like the Fineract backend, it's supposed to come back to the Bionic integration. Like the status of that particular request is supposed to come back to the Bionic integration. And in this case, we made a loan repayment. If you can see my log, you can clearly see the description saying the loan repayment was successful, and it also has the code. Then I just made a recurring deposit. It also says the recurring deposit was successful.
Are you able to show these?
Lastly,
Are you able to show these reflected in the Fineract UI too, or the web app UI, Vladimir, in that account? Or
as of now, not yet, because I'm just using the the API this thing URL to do this demonstration.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. For future
So
demo, it would be great to then show the transaction reflected on the account on whatever
okay.
demo instance you're on. So.
Okay. So lastly, I'm going to do a loan this thing a disbursement. I'm going to do a disbursement to Payoneer from the payment gateway. So the idea is, in this case, the disbursement comes from Fineract, the payment gateway gets it, and it sends it now to the Bionic integration. Then the Bionic integration will send it to the Bionic payment API. So you can see the transaction type is disbursement, the payment method is mobile money, the payment method is Bionic. Then let me send it out. So I'm going to log into my Bionic account to check whether the payment was made to my Bionic account.
And what you were doing from the REST client, Vladimir, typically this would be where they'd be initiating a disbursement from the Mifos UI, which goes via mobile money into the
Yes.
customer's account. Okay.
Yes. Yes. That's the use case. So hopefully we should see in Bionic the transaction that was made to this particular destination number, then um, the amount was 10 this thing. I'm using the Bionic test currency to do this. Okay. Okay. So if you can see the last payment, it was made just 1 minute ago. You can see the start time. It was like 7 minutes past 1. Then it was made by me. The recipient was John Doe. The amount was 10. Then the statute shows that the transaction was completed successfully. I wasn't able to test like a customer doing a repayment from his account and checking that it reflects in my Bionic. I asked Anthony to test that because I can't test it because I don't have access to this thing, an M-Pesa account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it for my presentation. So moving forward, because as Ed said, I'm going to try to make sure that you can see whenever someone makes let's say a repayment, you can see that reflected in the web listing UI. Then another important thing is the gateway itself needs support. So I'm going to try to work on that. So that's what I have for the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Vladimir. No, we're looking forward to having you, wrap up the remaining work, and then also, getting clear documentation on how one sets up the gateway, and then how they also can configure it and extend it to support a different mobile money provider. But looking forward to continuing the work you've started, as this is a very critical project for the community on mobile money integration, and happy we've made good progress on it thus far this summer. So I know we're a bit over time, but we're going to have one more showcase, like from Mohit. I just need to make sure he's online, but we might have lost him, so we might need to also, send out that showcase via email later on. Let me see if I can get a hold of him very briefly. But while I'm doing that, I'll see if there are any questions from folks on the call. And I know, Siva, you had one question. We'll cover offline about adding groups to the mobile app, but we'll cover that with you. Okay, well, I think we might have lost Mohit, and Mohit was going to demonstrate the offline access that's now available in the Chrome browser for the Mifos X web app. But we will have him record his showcase, and then we'll send that out to the rest of the community via email. And I want to thank everybody then for attending this final showcase of our GSOC student efforts. We might, since we missed a couple showcases today, and since this is great work to have on these calls on a future user meetup, we might try and have a couple demos just so others who have missed them can partake. But a big thank you to all our interns as well for the many contributions they made throughout the summer. And we're looking forward to working with them as long-term members of the community far into the future. So we'll wrap up this call. I will send out the link to the screencast and the presentation, and then I'll also send out links separately to the showcases we weren't able to have today on the web app and offline access, the online banking app, and then we had one other intern, Tesura, who worked on doing static analysis of the Apache Fineract project, and I'll have him share his results separately. But thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of the day, evening or afternoon for you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ed. Bye-bye.